Hello, welcome to the School Improvement Institute Video 4 for the School Improvement Team. The focus of this video is to prep for the School Improvement Council Discussion 1, and the focus of that discussion is the SI2 introduction. My name is Sue Reynolds. I am the president of the American Student Achievement Institute. In this video, we'll be doing two things. One is to review the steering team task delegations, and the second is to provide an overview and tips for this month's task. This month, again, we are preparing for the first council discussion, which is the introduction to SI2. So, as always, we want to begin with a little bit of review, and this time specific people on the steering team are going to begin to have some tasks to complete. So we want to make sure that each member of the steering team understands their assignments. So we would like you, if you would, to please pause this video and to just walk through these different point persons and make sure that each person knows what their tasks are and what their assignments are. Okay, let's pause and do that now, please. Okay, welcome back. Before we go farther with this prep, we want to make sure that your steering team has watched the discussion prompt for the Council Discussion 1. That is a separate video. It's the first step on the Process tab for this month's activities. So if you haven't watched that yet, it would be best to stop this video now and to watch the Council video, and then when you're finished watching that, come back and watch the rest of this steering team video. Okay, so as you are preparing for this month, there's really two things we want to do. One is to get ready to have the student body have its first discussion, and then the second thing is to get ready to have your School Improvement Council have their first discussion. But we'll start with the student body. So the student body this year will be having 5 discussions. The discussion prompts are on the screen. The first one this month will help your council develop their vision statement. And that question for the students is just simply to describe their ideal teacher. So that will end up being part of the vision statement when we're visioning the ideal teacher. There is a document in the manual. It's document, let's see, it is document 4.4 that is quite a lengthy discussion of how to set up this first student body discussion. So there's all kinds of ideas for planning, for resistance that could come up and how to work through it, for how to train student facilitators if you're going to have students facilitate, how to, just lots and lots and lots of different advice for you as you're setting up your first student body discussion. So if you are the student body point person on your steering team, you would need to go to document 4.4 in the manual and just read that very carefully and then start to get everything set up to have that first whole school breakout where every student in the building is discussing the inquiry questions. Okay, so now let's look at the council discussion. This year, as you know, we have a new option that is for schools to be able to have their discussion online. So we really want to make sure that you understand how this works, and if you are the council discussion point person, the responsibility for setting this all up would fall on your shoulders. So first, an overview. The objectives for this first discussion are that your council members will be familiar with the SI2 organizational structure, they'll be familiar with the SI2 process, they'll have a personal reason for wanting to raise student achievement, not just because they're trying to meet some state mandate, but they personally think that this is a good idea and they're personally engaged in wanting to raise achievement. We also want your council members to agree to group norms for the discussions, and then finally to begin participating actively in the online discussions. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a video for the council that introduces SI2 and kind of addresses each of these objectives. So your task is just to make sure that all of your council members have watched that video. We think that between the discussion and the video, you will meet these 5 objectives. So when your council members are participating in the discussions, the first thing that they're going to do is read an info page. In this case, it's going to be about SI2. They're going to watch a video, and then they're going to answer 4 questions, and then also respond to other people's comments. So those are the steps of the discussion process. They're going to do some pre-discussion reading. They're going to watch a video, and then they're going to go in and answer questions and then respond to other people's comments. So here are the 4 questions for this month. The first one is, from your perspective, why is it important to raise student achievement in our school? After watching the video, they should have some ideas of why they think it's important to raise achievement. Second question is, what sounds promising about our school's participation in SI2? We're hoping that as people start to say what they think is promising and they're reading what other people think are promising, that some energy starts to build. The third question asks what sounds challenging about our school's participation in SI2. So the third question is looking at the challenges. Very important question. If your school is typical, there's going to be some resistance at this point in the process. People are going to say, oh, there's just one more thing we have to do. We've done this before, you know, why are we doing this again? We don't have the time. You know, how is this different than what we've done in the past? And we want that to come to be verbalized now so that you have a chance to address it before it becomes a movement of negativity. So we're hoping that people can say, boy, you know, we just don't have the time to do this. And then you'll be able to come back with a comment that, you know, says, well, you know, here's how this process, you know, addresses the time issue. We're delegating tasks. We're giving you a chance to discuss online instead of going to meetings. You know, it'll give you a chance to address any concerns that people have about getting started with the process. The other thing is that each of the comments that's made online will have a person's name attached to it. So it might be that Jane Doe comments online, you put a comment back in to kind of help alleviate their fears, but then in the lunchroom or in the hallway, you're talking to Jane and you know, just really touching base with her and letting her have a chance to explain what she's worried about and, you know, helping her get past those worries. We would rather have this all the way through. We'd rather have resistance kind of come out so that you can address it rather than be hidden, because then it comes out in kind of passive-aggressive ways, or you get all the way to the end of the process and then people will tell you that they're not happy with everything. So we want people to be able to feel comfortable to verbalize the challenges that they think they may face or things that they are concerned about, and so that we can talk about them. That's really a much more healthy way to address that. So I put this question in red on the screen though, because it's one that you are going to have to monitor, I would say every day or twice a day. If there is a concern that gets up there, and there will be, because, you know, we're working with people, that's normal, and it's anytime people are facing change, you know, there's questions that come up. So, but we want to make sure that you're able to address that before it blows up. So please make sure you're monitoring these questions, but especially that question in the discussion. And then finally, the last question is, in addition to the guidelines provided by ASA, what group norms or rules or guidelines should govern our discussion. So if there's anything else that they want to put in about how you treat each other during these discussions, what's okay, what's not okay, that gives them a chance to put their 2 cents worth in as well. Okay, so those are the discussion questions. Nothing really heavy in this discussion, just wanting people to get used to how this discussion tool works, but we also want to give them a chance to speak up if there's something bothering them, and that third question should be able to do that. And also, I guess I should point out too, please, I know that the steering team has been working really hard on this, but it is normal to get resistance right now, so don't take it personally. Just know that, you know, we're working with educators who have been working really hard on school improvement already, and, you know, some of them are just kind of, you know, tired, and they are legitimately wondering, how is this going to be different, or are we going to have the time, or is this really going to make a difference, is anybody going to listen to us? So, you know, that's normal. So just accept that this is part of the process, and if you get stuck or want someone to bounce an idea off of, call Mary Beth, and, you know, we'd be happy to talk through anything that happens with this question. Okay. Then, another thing that we want to talk about in a little bit is, are you going to have this discussion face-to-face or online? We're setting this up as though it's going to be an online discussion, but we know that some of you will opt to have these discussions face-to-face instead of using the online tool. So we want to kind of talk about both of these options and then give you a chance to talk about that as a steering team. Okay, so if you are going to do the face-to-face discussion, here's what the prep would look like. You would need to decide, when are you going to meet, where are you going to meet, how are the council members going to be invited and reminded that this meeting is happening, who's going to facilitate the discussion, and then how is the discussion prompt going to work? Are you just going to show the video with my voice on it at one of your meetings and then discuss it? Another option would be to have one of your steering team members present the video or present the PowerPoint slides that are in the video and just talk through them. That would give you an opportunity also to edit those PowerPoint slides if you don't care for some of them, or you think the wording or the terminology might be better in your school if you were to edit that. Another option you could do is to ask people to watch the video before coming to your meeting, and then you can just start with the discussion after everybody's watched the video at home. So, okay, so that was kind of how the face-to-face discussion would work. If you're doing the online discussion, it's very easy to set up. Here's how that would go. First of all, and again, this is the council discussion point person who would be doing this. That person would send an email to all the council. It's really easy. All you have to do is push one button and the email goes out. And then you're going to monitor that discussion. You're going to encourage there to be ongoing participation. So if you start to notice that only 2 or 3 people in the whole council are talking, you might be making some phone calls to your economic development folks or your parents or whoever's not participating and encouraging them to get involved. You are deleting inappropriate comments. You're also the go-to question for all of your go-to person for all of the council's questions. So you're answering their questions, and then you're addressing any perceived challenges that people may have. Any resistance comes up, you're making sure that we nip that in the bud so it gets expressed and it gets addressed so that people can move forward with this process. Okay. No matter which way you go, after the discussion, either face-to-face or the online discussion, after the discussion, this is what will happen. There's another person on your steering team called the council consensus point person. Excuse me. That person would enter a discussion of all of the summary online or the summary, a summary of the discussion that you've had face-to-face. Then after they've entered that summary, they would send the summary to the council members and then ask the council members for any corrections or additions they have to the summary. Okay, so that happens after the discussion. Okay, So what we would like you to discuss now is will you have this discussion with your council face-to-face, or are you going to use the online tools? What is your discussion window if you're using online, or the date if you're going to do face-to-face? What will you do to encourage people to participate? How often will the council discussion point person monitor the discussion? Are you going to send reminder emails to people to get involved in the online discussion? If so, when's that going to happen? And then when will the summary be entered online? Okay, so let's just pause the webcast and the video, and let's have a few minutes for your for your steering team to talk about these questions. Okay, couple other things. If you are deciding that you are going to use the online system, there's a couple things that need to happen before you send out the council email. First of all, you need to make sure that you are finished recruiting your council members. I suppose even if you're having your face-to-face meeting, you want to make sure that all the council members are recruited and are there for that initial discussion. You want to make sure that all the council members have entered their contact information online. That enables you to get a hold of them by phone or by email. And then on your steering team, we need to make sure that you have a student body discussion point person, a council discussion point person, and a council consensus point person all appointed, because each of those three people have a specific task to complete this month. Okay, so that needs to happen before the discussions. So let's pause again, and if you'll just chat through these three things with your steering team, are you ready to move forward? Do you have these things finished? Okay, so let's look at online, how all of this online discussion works. So I'm going to escape out of the PowerPoint, and I'm going to open up the SI2 process page. So I've logged in as demo school, and I've clicked on process page. That'll bring me over here, and I'm going to scroll down now to step 4, which is conduct council discussion 1. Actually, the first step is actually going to be 2 steps, so we'll get this edited right away. The first step will be to watch the council video, and then the second step will be to watch the steering team video. So 2 different videos, the one the council is going to see, and then the one we're recording right now to talk with the steering team about how to facilitate all this. So, so that's first step. Second step is to participate in the learning community. That's happening November 6th. So if you click on this icon, that will allow you to register for that. Then you're going to conduct council discussion 1. And this is how easy this is. You're just going to click on that. I guess I paused too long. Let me log in again. Okay, when you click that, you'll get this page that says send invitations to the council discussion 1. And there's a little bit of language about what that invitation is going to include. And then you need to set the discussion window. So we would like these discussions to be finished by the end of the month, and I want a couple of days to summarize. So I'm going to close the window on the 26th. And then I send the invitation, and that will send that invitation out to everybody that's on the council. They'll all get an email that looks like, and you can see everybody's names have popped up, and I can resend the invitation to them if I need to. What the email looks like is this, and it gives people a little bit of introduction about how to get to the discussion page. And one of the things that's really important for them to realize is that this link is specific to them individually, so they can't share that link with anybody else. This link is attached to their name, so when they enter a comment, their name will appear. And then the discussion window will, I actually made this before I just demonstrated, but this, you know, if I had done it in the proper order, this one would say November 26th. And then instructions for what to do. And then the final part says if they need help, and then whoever the person is on your steering team who's the council discussion point person, it will tell them to contact that person if they need help. Okay, so that's what the email looks like. I'm going to go back to then the process page. Oops, using the back button, I can go this way, just click the SI2 process page. We're going to go back down to step 4. So now I've conducted the council meeting, and then, or the council discussion. When it's over with, I can click here to enter the summary for the council, and then for the student body discussion, I'm going to click here, and that will give me a page where I can enter in a summary of what the students have said. Okay, and then finally, here is the rubric. So very, very simple. Then I wanted to show you what your council is going to see exactly. And so what we're looking at right now is the version of the discussion page that a steering team member will see. So a steering team member, when they get the discussion page, they're going to have access to all of the tabs over here on the left. A council member who's not a steering team member will not see these. Also, there's some steering team tools here. There's a tool for managing council members that would give you a chance to delete a council member if you need to for any reason, or to adjust information about them. So those are the two things that not everybody will see. Just the steering team will see those things. Okay, so then everybody will see the guidelines. Everybody over on the right will see the pre-discussion tasks. Everybody will see who to contact if they have questions about all of this, and everybody will see the video. So the council video later today will be posted in this section on the screen. Okay, then below that are the questions. So here's how that would work. From your perspective, why is it important to raise student achievement in our school? We need to raise achievement to draw high-skilled, high-wage jobs into our community. So I would just write what I want to share and then just hit save. So there it is. So I can do that as many times as I'd like. Every time I post one comment, I get another box where I can post another comment. So I'd go through. I wanted to show you one. Kind of played with this one so I could demonstrate. The question is, in addition to guidelines, at the top of the page, what norms should govern our discussions? So I've added one earlier, always put kids first. And you can notice here I've got one person who agrees with this, and if I click that, it shows me who that person is. So kind of just like Facebook. The other thing I can do is I can edit my comment, and you notice here I spelled first wrong, so I can just go in and edit and change that. And I'm allowed to edit this because I'm the one who wrote it. Because I'm a steering team member, I also have the ability to delete it. Okay, so that's my comment. Here's something that Amy said. She thinks that the council should think out of the box, that should be one of their norms, and I agree with that. So I'm just going to click I agree, and that just gives me a little note here that I agree. And then here's another comment that Amy made, While I agree with Sue that we should always put kids first, I think Sue is too passionate about school improvement. So again, now we're starting a personal comment, which is inappropriate in this kind of setting. So if I am any steering team member, I can go in and delete this. Remember, these delete buttons only appear on the steering team version. It is the responsibility of the council discussion point person to monitor these and delete any that are going south. But anybody can do that, so you don't have to wait for that point person. If somebody else on the steering team sees something that's inappropriate, you can just take it down immediately. So I'm thinking that Amy probably shouldn't have said that about Sue, and I'm going to delete that comment. And it says, are you sure you want to delete this? Yes, I do. And then it shows that Amy made a comment, but it was deleted. So those are the tools that you have as a steering team to kind of monitor, to add to the discussion, but then to also have the power to delete any comments that are inappropriate. Hopefully you'll, as part of the video, people will understand that it's important to keep this very positive, that this is really a great chance for everybody to have a discussion about raising achievement. It's a great tool, and I really don't anticipate that we're going to have any issues here, but if we do, you've got the power to take down a comment immediately. Okay, and again, on any of this, as you know, this is the first time we've had an online discussion like this, and we depend on you to teach us, so please make sure you're giving us feedback about what's working well and what's not working well. Okay, then one last bit, and then we'll close. A couple things to wrap up. One is that just want to remind everybody again that our conference is coming up on February 26th. If your school has not registered, we're hoping that you'll do that right away. We're not sure who our opening keynote is, but one of our board members is connected in a big way with the White House, and we're making some inquiries about the First Lady possibly serving as a keynote presenter for us. So that's in the discussion stages, and we'll know more about that in a few weeks and be able to let you know exactly who the keynote is. And have a wonderful person in mind also that we're probably going to contact about being a second keynote presenter. So we'll keep you posted on that, but please do register right away if you would. We also want to make you aware that there are some complimentary registrations available. Learn More Indiana is providing 4 free registrations in every county. So to inquire about obtaining those free registrations for your school, just go to this website, learnmoreindiana.org/CSC, and then click on the county name, and then contact those folks in the county about using one of their, or 2 or 3 or 4 of their free registrations. If you are not associated with the College Success Coalition, it is a community-based initiative that goes hand in hand with the School Improvement Institute with SI2. So all the counties that are colored in now have active steering teams in them, and we have funding this year to start steering teams in all the counties that are white. So there is an incentive for counties to start these steering teams. There's $6,000 per county. So if you or your counselors or your community foundation or your economic development council, anyone who's interested in being part of this statewide coalition, it would be, just awesome to get involved with that and also to receive this funding. So please contact our office if you live in one of these white counties and you'd like to help us get the steering team started. If your county was not white, you can just click on the link on the previous page there, and that will open up a page where you can see who the leadership team is in your county. Okay, so that's that. It's a really cool initiative. We really encourage schools to get involved in that. Don't forget that your learning community is on November 6th, So you just need to click on that enter icon, and that will take you to the place where you can register for that. And if you need help, as always, call Mary Beth. We know that with this being the first time that we're doing the online discussions, there's going to be a lot of questions, and we hope a lot of feedback for us. We'd like this to be very fluid, so as we hear things from you, we can make in-flight adjustments and make it better as we go. So please keep us posted, and don't hesitate to ask questions. We know that this is, for many of us, probably going to be a little confusing the first time, but hopefully it'll run smoothly. I think our tech staff have done a wonderful, wonderful job. So kudos to Amy Drake on our staff for the work that she's done to get this all set up. So okay, so that's it, and really pretty simple. You just got to get that discussion launched, and then just make sure you're monitoring it, and then summarize it at the end of the discussion. And then with the student body, read document 4.4 and just kind of do what it says in that document, and you'll be in good shape. So call Mary Beth, and of course don't wait 5 minutes, call her right away. Okay, that's it for this month. We wish everybody luck, and I look forward to speaking with everyone on Thursday about this. So thanks so much.